What's up guys, AldoShifts bringing you guys back another video. Today's video is going to be answering a question that I get asked a lot on social media, and is how do I afford a 2023 F-150 with the Whipple supercharger and all these mods and a twin turbo built motor S197. So that's what we're going to be getting into today, and the main topics for this video is going to be, of course, financing, credit, income, cash purchases, and like money set aside for mods, right? So let's go ahead and get straight into it. All right, so whenever it comes to financing, whenever you finance a vehicle, to get approved at first, you need good credit. So what do you need to build credit? We're gonna start from step one. If you're a car guy, more than likely you are if you stumbled across this video, is go ahead and get a credit card that's gonna be pertains to you, that can help you out. Either a 0% credit card, if it is your first credit card, and you are a car guy, you already have a vehicle, go to Discount Tire. You're gonna be needing tires because you're doing burnouts or donuts or going racing, whatever you need, right? So Discount Tire actually has 0% interest for 6 months or 12 months, just depending on what your total purchase amount is for your wheels and tires. So that's gonna be something that you're gonna be using no matter what vehicle you have. So I'd go ahead and recommend that. That was actually my first credit card that I ever got. It helped me get my credit score into the 700s pretty easily and pretty in a short amount of time. After that, I went ahead and grabbed a personal credit card with my bank at the time, which was Chase. I still bank with them till this day, so that's gonna be a good one. I think it was the Chase Freedom Unlimited. So go ahead and check out those two cards, especially if you're a car guy. Those are gonna help you build your credit pretty fast. As far as financing, let's say you already got the credit scored away, you're 700 plus, now you apply for a vehicle. You might not even get approved because you need to have revolving credit. So what is revolving credit? You might have good history with credit cards, but you've never had a loan in the past, whether that be a personal loan, a vehicle loan, student loans, mortgage, whatever that may be. A bank wants to see that you're trustworthy enough to go ahead and revolve different types of accounts and be in good standings with all of them. So the first time you might get approved for a vehicle, it might not be the interest rate you want, and that's completely okay. If you can't get a cosigner, that's completely fine. I didn't get one whenever I bought this car. It was summer of 2019 whenever I got this car. So this upcoming summer, it'll be 5 years with the car. I got it completely stock, and it was a purchase price of around $18,000. I financed it over 5 years, and the interest rate for like the first 6 months was like 8%, which was like astronomical. I was paying like just shy of $500 for this car, and I was financing for 5 years. 6 months later, I went ahead and refinanced the car. I dropped down the term to 3 years, I believe, and it was $330 a month. So monthly I was saving over $100 just because I went ahead and financed, and I also shortened my term. So interest rates is going to be super crucial. I'm gonna go ahead and attach a picture to this video just so you guys can see what's the difference between a 2% interest rate and a 10% interest rate. See how much money you guys could be saving. Make the smart decision. Don't overcommit to something. And at the same time, it's kind of like, if you're getting a high interest rate, is it really worth it? All that extra money that's going to interest instead of the principal might not be worth it. So make educated decisions whenever you're getting into a vehicle, because they can really burden you for the next 5 to 7 years. So after we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and start getting into the topic of income/cash. Before we move on to the cash or income related stuff, I did want to mention new car incentives. New car incentives, most of these dealers like Ford Motor Company, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Chevy, GM Motors, right? Whenever you purchase a new vehicle, they are going to have dealer incentives, so they might have markdowns on retail, and also they're going to have interest rates like offers, which is going to be the best, especially in today's market, which used car rates here in Texas right now, even for 48 months, it starts like at 7.5 interest rates. So that's completely horrible. Whenever you buy a new vehicle, let's say it's $5,000 more than the used vehicle you're looking at, but you can get approved for 1.9% interest at 60 months, or 0% interest, or 2.9 compared to a 7. You're gonna be paying less for a new car with warranty, with brand new, right? 0 miles compared to a used vehicle. So that's gonna be something. Don't always think that buying used is gonna be cheaper. That's not always the case. Take a look at it, see what incentives are out there, be educated, inform yourselves. At the end of the day, we hope that the car salesmen we go to are educated enough to go ahead and help us find the best deal. But as an adult, you have to do that yourself. So you can't be banking on someone else to do that for you. Do your homework and I don't know.
Indeed.
Yeah. Now, one of the final things that we're going to be talking about before I tell you on how I was able to afford these cars personally, how much income I made during college, and how much income I basically make now, right? So if you don't want to go the financing route, that's completely fine. If you just want to save up the money so you can pay for it outright, that's really self-explanatory. There isn't anything else to do. Just save up the money, work hard, stow away that cash. In my personal opinion, things are always going to come up. You have that money sitting aside, and it's going to be very tempting to spend all that money on something else, right? Whether that be a vacation, whether that be leisure money. Things always come up whenever you have money in the bank. So I just like to go ahead and not commit myself, but basically commit myself to a loan. So that way I at least know where my money's going, right? So if I have utilities, rent, car notes, everything like that, I know where most of my money is going to, instead of trying and saving up $50, $60, $70,000 so I can go ahead and purchase a vehicle brand new. Now, new car incentives, it might just be better to go ahead and have the vehicle that you already have, or buy the vehicle that you already want, especially if it's at a low interest rate, right? So that doesn't hurt. Build your credit, make good income, get a side hustle, and you can go ahead and, if you don't want to do financing, pay for a car outright. Now, the way I did it, and I got into my car itself, it was summer of 2019. I had been working for almost a full year with telecommunications. I was just working as an assistant manager slash like mobile rep for them. And at the time when I was in college, I was also on an athletic scholarship. So I was making anywhere between $35,000 to $50,000 my sophomore year, my junior year, and my senior year of college, while not having any responsibilities. I didn't have any debt. I was basically debt free at the time. So I was able to make that money, buy this car, purchase it, do all the mods, supercharge it, belt motor, twins, go racing at Texas 2K, and all this stuff, just because that was literally the only thing that I was paying for. As far as my room and board, most of it was covered by the scholarship. So whenever the school would start, I would actually get a lump sum of cash as a refund to go ahead and pay for my room and board. But I was already making enough money to go ahead and pay all those. So usually whenever that would happen, I would just buy a bunch of mods and throw it onto the car. That wasn't all the case. I set some money aside, because you got to have money set aside for family medical emergencies. Maybe you lose your job, maybe you get hurt, anything like that. Things will come up, so be ready for it. I recently had a job transition to a different job, and it didn't happen as soon as I wanted, so it didn't matter because I had money set aside for it. So always be prepared, financially prepared, always have a plan, always have a backup plan, 2 backup plans if necessary, right? But once I got this car,
I'm the backup plan.
Yeah, she's the backup plan. It helps to have two incomes. It really does, right? So we're both, I mean, not single, right? We've been together. She's my fiance, but we really help each other out. So whenever she's having a downtime, we help each other out. We have the same bank account, and that's really what you want. You want to be able to have a partner that you can go ahead and trust with the money. It's not a race to zero. That's not what we do. I know. I don't have friends that do that, but I've heard stories where it's like, hey, as soon as my income hits, my significant other like spends it all. So that's not the case with us. We really do talk about all of our plans, all of our goals that we want to go ahead and reach, and we help each other get there. So right now we live in an apartment. We want to get a house, and we are, hopefully, but these interest rates right now are just kind of insane. And it's all about having a financial plan, and right now it just doesn't make sense. Hopefully at the end of the year, you know, the Fed lowers interest rates, but right now they're at like 6.5. So anyways, getting back to the car stuff, right? I bought this car, it was my daily. I bought it for like $18,000, $19,000. Like I said, whenever I first got it, it was like an 8-9% interest rate. 6 months later, I went ahead and refinanced it, lowered my bill by about $100, and shortened my term by 2 years. So I basically went full bolt on. As soon as I got it, this was my car that I was going ahead. It went from stock horsepower to, I don't know, mid 400s, put a supercharger, was on 93, I was making 600 horsepower. And then I went E85 fuel system, etc. I was making like 700 horsepower. And then from there, I sold the supercharger, I sold the stock short block, and I built a Rods piston short block, and I went twin turbos where I can make over 1,200 horsepower. So that was something that I would also recommend. Build the car as you go. Don't, especially if it's your first car, get comfortable with the horsepower levels, and then go up gradually. Just because you never know, it can be a pretty hard car to drive, and you don't want to make a bad decision where you go ahead and end up losing your life or the car itself. We don't want to see that happen, right? You got to be safe out there. So make good decisions. And what I'm trying to get to is that basically my daily car turned into my race car. So get the car you want. Maybe you can't build it as soon as you get it, but as you go, you can gradually do that. Once it's paid off, then cool, get yourself a reliable daily, and you can make this a race car.
Yeah, you had fun with it.
Yeah, have fun with it.
On the way.
Enjoy it. So fast forwarding to 2024, at the time in 2019, right, I purchased a $20,000 car, basically making $30,000 to $50,000, or it was more like $40,000 to $50,000 a year, while not having any other financial responsibilities. Now, fast forward, I bought basically a $60,000 to $70,000 truck with all the modifications that I did to it, making more income, right? I wouldn't purchase a $50,000 or $60,000 vehicle if that's what I was making annually. Combined, we make over 6 figures, well into the 6 figures, my partner and I. And as you go ahead and make that income, you can go ahead and start getting those nicer vehicles that you do want. Live within your means. Don't try to not be a show off. It's just more of like staying within your reason, just so you don't have that financial stress in your life. That can be very what's the word? Like disheartening. Not disheartening, but it.
Yeah, like it can, be tough.
Yeah, it can be tough.
It's just, you gotta be patient.
Exactly, and especially when it starts like eating into your necessities. Like imagine it's like I can only eat one meal because I have a super nice car. You don't want to do that, guys. Come on. So those are gonna be basically the main tips I had to talk about today. I hope this helps you guys. If you guys have any questions, what I do for work now, I used to be the telecommunications, right, assistant manager, became a store manager, became a district manager, got out of the retail aspect side of things. Now I'm now account manager / account executive, and I actually work 2 jobs, so both of them are going to be remote. That works for me. One of them's commission only, the other one has a salary plus commission, and I honestly I work most of the time. Whenever I do have free time, I spend it with my vehicles, and I just kind of do something that works out for you. As far as the position itself, so if you guys are interested, feel free to message me on Instagram. I can try to help you guys out. Always having a good resume, good accolades, having a degree helps, right? And blue collar work, right? If you want to do that, that's great. You can make money really quick like that. But at the same time, once you have a family, you don't want to be away from home, or at least I don't. So that's why I went ahead and chose the route of going to college. So at the end of the day, I can go ahead and go back home to my kids, to my family, and be there for them. Hopefully they get into extracurricular activities like sports or fine arts, just so I can go ahead and support them. I feel like that's going to be a very fun phase of my life, and super excited to get there. So appreciate you guys. This is the second video now being monetized on YouTube, so if you guys can go ahead and like and subscribe, grow the channel. You guys have basically bumped me up from 1,100 to now 1,800 subs in the last like 3-4 months, so I really appreciate that. And I'm gonna be making more content. I'm gonna try to upload at least one video a week minimum, but shooting for 2. So yeah, peace. All right, I forgot to talk about this. Actually, I'm just gonna include it before the final part. So this is Trey, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. I want to bring you guys my cat. He's 3 years old. We have Lily. She's coming up right now, so I'll show her on camera right now. But whenever you buy a vehicle that's within your means, you're gonna have money left over to do the modifications. So if you make, I don't know, let's say you make $4,000 a month, $3,000 a month, and your car note's $1,000, your rent's $1,000, and all your other necessities are $800, and at the end of the month you have $200 for mods. That's not gonna work, right? Those $200 should go to savings, if anything. But let's say you go ahead and have all those expenses cut in half. You're spending $1,500 on rent and your car loan and all your other utilities and stuff, and you have $1,500 left over. Now, then you have money left over to buy modifications for your vehicle. So that's gonna be another important thing to keep in mind. If you want to build the vehicle itself, don't buy the $50,000 car. That's gonna basically take up half of your income for the month. Buy a cheaper vehicle so that way you can gradually build with it, because you have that extra income to do so. Also, you have that extra income to do, repairs, because things go wrong, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind, and just wanted to bring that up before I get into it any further, basically.
And Lily.
Yeah, and this is Lily. She's our kitten. She's not even a year old. We actually rescued her from being in a cart at the flea market, but look at her now. She's chonkers. She eats like like she was starving whenever she was a baby, even though she has unlimited food now. But she's a character. All right, guys. So we have Ricky's 2023 Camaro 1LE. He's been driving it. He has a Borla Attack catback, and that's the only mod he has. But Rick,
the RotoFab
and a RotoFab. Can you tell us what you just did?
I bought a lot of car parts.
He bought a lot of car parts. All the homies and us, we get into crippling debt over car parts. He went ahead and got an MSD intake manifold, flex fuel sensor, 102 Nick Williams throttle body, and 2-inch long tube headers. So right now this car is a 6-speed manual and this one's a 10-speed, and on a 60 roll they're pretty dead even. Now it was a fantastic driver mod on this car. It was me versus this car, and he can't take the fact that, you know, the cars were right next to each other. But
Don't be lying.
I'm not lying.
I beat you.
You didn't beat me.
Were you ahead of me?
I was in the 60 roll.
We didn't do it from a 60.
Okay, from 50, whatever.
55.
55.
How many times we raced?
Once.
3 times.
3 times.
How many
Okay.
times was I ahead? Twice.
It's a manual car. You got to line them up perfectly. He wanted to do like a 40 roll on the car. That's first gear in this car. How to make it make sense. But either way, we're gonna cut that out because this guy's lying. Unless he wants to rerun it right now in the rain. In the rain, right now. All right, so we let Grant drive the F-150, but I should have recorded that. But right now, what year is it?
03.
03 Cobra. Appreciate Brad for letting us wash the vehicles. We washed the truck yesterday and we washed the Cobra this morning, and right now we're about to head over to go wake Brian up because he has it was his birthday yesterday and his brothers came into town, so that we can go ahead and hang out, you know, have some fun with the cars and go drink later or something. But the Cobra, pretty badass vehicle, not gonna lie. I wish I would have gotten more footage in it. We probably will right now. Once Brian wakes up, we'll take it out for a couple more spins around the block, you know, and same thing with the truck. So stick around. Today's gonna be more of a personal vlog. Today we're driving Ricky's 2023 Camaro 1LE. You guys are gonna see Grant's Terminator Cobra and Ryan driving manual for the first time. You know, talks a lot of crap for someone that's, huh?
I'm that guy.
He says he's that guy. Let's go ahead and watch him stall real quick. Can we get a stall counter real quick? Let's get him nervous. You know, I only need one hand. Come on. Come on. We're like that. Oh! Honestly, the Terminator Cobra is a harder car to drive. I don't know if it does have an aftermarket clutch or not, but I drove it earlier. It drives well, don't get me wrong, but like a modern car that is a manual just is easier to drive. It's more forgiving on the clutch itself, just like as you guys can tell right now. I usually can't or I usually don't record and drive whenever I'm driving my car, but it doesn't have power steering, it doesn't have power brakes or anything like that. So Ryan's doing good so far. I don't know if he shifted it to second or not, but this car is pretty cool. It does have the heads-up display, so this car itself actually is going to be the main topic of the video as well. Just it's not only a daily vlog or a day in the life of, right, but he actually we got some goodies for it, and by goodies I mean like $8,000 worth of goodies for this car actually. So Ricky went ahead and finally made the decision to go ahead and start upgrading this car. He is going to be getting rid of factory warranty. He's been driving the car for about 15,000 miles now, and he's enjoyed it, but it's about that time that he wants more power, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and go over those modifications here shortly once we get back to the house, and we'll go over those. So if you guys have any questions on this Camaro or want to see any videos in particular, right now I think the only mods that it does have is a Rotofab cold air intake and a Borla Attack catback system, but it's about to get a whole lot faster and might gain like 150 wheel horsepower to the wheel, or 150 100-ish extra horsepower to the wheel, so that'll be pretty fun. Oh. You got the Texas Speed Cab.
Yeah.
Is it the Track Attack?
It's LC7.
Okay, what is that?
It's a.
See,
Max effort.
then it's not from
Let me
Mississippi.
Charlie, back up. Hold on. Charlie. It's
If-
from Texas Speed.
If it's not max effort NA, I don't want to hear about it.
This is what it is. Tell him it's the Whipple Killer.
I don't know what Brian's trying to do right now, but let's see what he's trying to do. The heads-up display on the Camaro is pretty badass. Not gonna lie. Wish Ford finally came out with something like that, but they haven't. What is he trying to do? Did he stall the car? Did he not? A little bit of a rough start, but not too bad. Not too bad for a first timer. We're just making circles in this little parking lot right next to the neighborhood. That Cobra for a 20-year car does look pretty sick though. Just look at that thing. It's shining. The black doesn't look bad. It's still the OEM color, hasn't been touched up or anything like that. Grant was telling me that he went ahead and polished it up, but I mean, that car only has 17,000 miles on the odometer. It is his 10th anniversary car and also has a black with red interior, so it's pretty sick. I know you guys are gonna watch me make a pass in it here later on in the video. You know, stick around. I hope he stops right here so you guys can see this. Allah! What's going on? He's not doing bad. He's not doing bad. He hasn't installed it just yet, but he doesn't want to install it, so he's giving it a little bit extra gas. And you know, you just got to be easy on the clutch, you know? If you haven't used your left foot for driving ever before, for a clutch feeling, it is a little bit different. It takes some getting used to, but other than that, we have the 2023 Camaro, right? We have the 2003, I believe, 10th anniversary Cobra. We have the Whipple F-150. We have Alan's 10-speed, we have Brian's 10-speed, and then my twin turbo car. We're gonna go pick it up a little bit later. So basically just give you guys some fun drives, and let's see who wants to line up against a twin turbo car, but I don't think there's gonna be any takers. All right, we're back on the road. We got the Terminator Cobra behind us. We got the Camaro 1LE behind us. They're both driver mods, they're both manual cars. You know, we have a 20-minute road ahead, you know. In the streets of Mexico, we'll see how it goes.